Hello. Hello and welcome to episode 30 of Cooking with Vince. This is my pineapple barbecue chicken pizza. Let's take a look. Let's start with the dry stuff. This recipe calls for 2 to 2 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour, roughly 250 to 295 grams. We went a little heavy this time. We went with 269 grams in this bowl. To this, I'm going to add 1 packet's worth, or 2 1/4 teaspoons of instant yeast. And I have a mixture here of 1 1/2 teaspoons of white sugar and 3/4 of a teaspoon of regular salt. Now it's time to spice it up. I'm going to use granulated garlic. How much? You're about to find out. That's about enough, I'd say. It calls for the same amount of dried basil leaves. For me, I'm just gonna add a decent pinch. It's gonna look weird in the crust, like where these little green things, but nah. Little basil makes everyone's life a little better. Now we're gonna thoroughly whisk it and mix it. Time to perform some wet work. I have 3/4 of a cup of warm water. The yeast instructions say 100 to 110 degrees, whereas the recipe says 105 to 115. So I compromised with 107. And 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Doesn't have to be extra virgin, I think. Recipe just says olive oil. On the first time around, I recommend going cup by cup
with the flour,
because then you'll get a feel for how much you need. But me, I'm playing a little dangerously. So I'm gonna reiterate again. Add it cup by cup. Don't do what I did, because I didn't add enough water. I guess I added too much flour. So I had to add a little bit more water to get it to the consistency that you need, which is sticky. Once it starts sticking away from the bowl, you know, look at that. Once it's like that, take out your dough for just a second. Put in some olive oil, just a little drizzle. Take your hands, just lubricate the bowl, and then put the dough back in. Now cover it with some plastic wrap and let it rise for 30 minutes in a warm place. Alright, and look at that. Almost grew twice in size. That's beautiful. Now, we're going to put this on a lightly floured surface, like a wood cutting board. Oh yeah, that just comes out so nicely. Smells insanely garlicky. Okay, so now I'm just going to knead it. Just going to 3 to 5 times, just kind of. Now I've transferred this dough onto a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. Obviously you can use any kind of pan size you want, but last time I did this, it turned out like Little Caesar's deep dish. It has a very, very nice soft crust, and it's gonna be awesome. So I'm just gonna spread this out to fit the shape of the pan for right now. Stab the crust with a fork so that way it doesn't bubble up on you. You can stab it a little bit, you can stab it a lot. I like to stab it a lot. Why? Because I have some olive oil and some chicken juice that I'm going to put into this crust, which is going to make it a soft, amazing, delicious, flavorful crust. Boo! Didn't mean to scare you. Before it turns into this, preheat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, because Celsius would be insane. So now we're going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil. Good little brushy. Time to introduce the chicken. This is, believe it or not, more garlic, paprika, a pinch of salt, some avocado oil, and the secret ingredient, unsalted chicken stock, as a little bit of a marinade. So I cooked this in a saucepan for about 10 minutes at high heat. And yeah, I'm gonna pour this juice here, this sweet, delicious, oily goodness, onto the crust as well. And we're gonna brush that in as well. Look at that. The hole's absorbing this delicious chicken broth juice. Time for the sauce. I'm not gonna use regular pizza sauce for this. Kinder's roasted garlic barbecue sauce. The only barbecue sauce I know. The only barbecue sauce I love. Had to give it a second take there. I'm just gonna pour it. Pour it right on the pizza. A little more. It's a very saucy crust. Alright, now we're just gonna brush it on. Get a little more. Get a little more. Don't be scared now. Get this everywhere. Get it everywhere. Get everything everywhere. Plus the barbecue sauce on the crust. The sugars in the barbecue sauce kind of give it just helps with the crust. Believe you me, if you haven't had barbecue chicken pizza before, like, oh man, especially with pineapple, like, yeah. Because the chicken doesn't need any more cooking, we're gonna put the chicken on now. There's still a little bit of juice. Might not put that on, I don't know, we'll see. And just, now I'm going to throw some mozzarella. This is, shredded mozzarella, about 3/4 of a 1 pound block. So you do the math, huh? And lastly, our secret ingredient that's literally the first name of the title of this episode. Pineapple! Alright, we're going to I got these cups. Get the tidbits. You don't have to get a whole can. Just get a couple of the tidbits, because they last forever. This expires in May of 2024. And if you're watching this, it is currently October of 2023. Okay, so just for date relevance. Time travelers, if you're watching this, you know, 1,000 years from now, yeah, that's tight. Look at this abomination. Time to put this in the oven at 425 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes, give or take. Until it looks good to me. We'll see. After 15 minutes, look at this. Look at this. Crust is nice and golden brown. The cheese even browned a little bit in the middle. You got the pineapple there. It looks absolutely gorgeous. You got the chicken and the barbecue sauce underneath. You see a little bit of that chicken poking out? Yep. That's a little iceberg for what is to come. That is this pizza. Let's get us a slice. Kind of fell apart of me, but look at that. Look at that. Got it here, let's try it. Kind of hard to fold it back. A little hot. It is so garlicky. This is the most garlicky pizza I've ever had in my life, but this is probably the best barbecue chicken pizza I've ever had in my life. The pineapple gives it a sweetness. Gives it a sweetness that is just... It is just so good. Die, mobster. You don't belong in this world. It was not by my hand that I am once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute. Tribute? You steal men's souls and make them your slaves. Perhaps the same could be said of all religions. Your words are as empty as your soul. Mankind ill needs a savior such as you. What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you? And there you have it. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.